Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I know on my last video I said I probably would not have many opportunities to get out of the house because of our dog situation. However, my daughter actually had plans with my in-laws this weekend, and we were passing through Schuylkill County on the way. And I thought, I have such an affinity for Schuylkill County. I don't know what it is. It's affectionately called the Skook. And there's just a lot of great coal mining towns, plus a lot of beautiful rural areas. So I thought, let me see if there's anything going on that maybe I could cover for the channel. And as luck would have it, the Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine Tour was having its opening weekend. My grandfather was actually a coal miner. My mom always told us stories about my pop-up and the dangerous work that he did in the mine. And believe it or not, I have never been on a coal mine tour. I mean, I did grow up in coal country. You might be able to tell that I have a coal cracker accent. So anyway, I thought it would be a nice idea to check out the Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine Tour for their opening weekend. And we had a tour guide who was just fantastic. He is a 5th generation coal miner, and actually his son is a coal miner too, so that's 6 generations of coal mining. So he knows his stuff, he knows what he's talking about, he knows the history, and he wants to share. So without further ado, let's head to Ashland in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania to visit the Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine Tour. The Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine and Steam Train was established in 1962 in Ashland, Pennsylvania. This is the Anthracite's longest operating mine tour. The address is 1900 Oak Street in Ashland, Pennsylvania. And I'm reading from their website here. The Pioneer Tunnel is owned and operated by Ashland Community Enterprises, a nonprofit 501c3 corporation, which was established in 1962 as a tourist attraction dedicated to promoting and preserving the history and heritage of the anthracite coal mining region. Ashland Community Enterprises is operated by an unpaid volunteer board of directors. Now, they do offer both the Pioneer Coal Mine Tour as well as a train ride, but we went for opening day of the Pioneer Coal Mine Tour, so that's what we'll be focusing on today. Please do check out their website, pioneertunnel.com, for their hours. They are operating seasonally. There you can also check out their rates. We paid $15 for each of us, for my daughter who's 18 and myself. They do have a child's rate, age 3 to 12. And they also offer group rates for tours. So again, check out their website, pioneertunnel.com. You'll find all the information that you need there. And you'll also find out about the special events that they hold throughout the year. Some include the hands-on throttle experience, where you operate a historic steam locomotive. That's actually taking place at the end of April. They also will be holding Pioneer Day, which is taking place on Saturday, July 25th. And of course, it's America's 250th birthday, so they're going to have a special celebration of America on this day. And from their website, they are also going to have special rates. So for the mine tour and steam train ride combo ticket, you'll pay $20 for adults. Children 17 and under are free. And a little birdie told me that in December, Santa and Mrs. Claus actually visit the coal mine. So while I don't think they're bringing those big lumps of coal for everybody, check out their website so you don't miss that very fun event. Now, as we're waiting for the tour to begin, I thought I would show some of the fun signage that is around the waiting area. As you could see, the complaint department was there. You could push that button if you have a complaint. And then I wanted to show you what we would be riding. So this is an open air mine car pulled by a battery operated mine motor. We're going to ride 1,800 feet into the side of the Mahanoy Mountain. Now let's meet our tour guide.
My name's Wally. I'll be your tour guide for the mine today. No one ever died in this mine in the 20 years it operated in this section, so we haven't had any ghosts. All right? So, are we ready to head in through?
Now, in the interest of time, I am going to speed up parts of the tour, and I'm not going to show the whole tour because I want you to go see it. It's a fascinating tour. This is just a reminder that we are riding 1,800 feet into the side of the Mahanoy Mountain. And I'm going to let Wally do the majority of the talking on this tour because, after all, he's the expert. He is a coal miner. He is a 5th generation coal miner. So I'll show you parts. I won't show you the whole tour, but I hope you enjoy.
Okay, this is the first stop on our tour. This is the Mammoth Vein. Does anyone know why they would have called it Mammoth? What does Mammoth mean? It's big, yep. And people also say it's hairy. Okay, these pieces of timber right here, these two sets, they're original sets from when the mine was opened. That's actually fine tree roots. The tree's trying to resprout itself. Okay, here we go. Okay, first stop here. Here's what we call a gangway. Okay, this is where the mine cars went, where the coal was brought out. Okay, this is called the West 7-foot gangway because it's in the 7-foot vein and it's heading west. Our miner friend here, he's demonstrating what it was like to drill coal in the early years of mining. This here's a hand geiger. Okay, one man would push on this, the other guy would turn it. They drilled their series of holes and they load it with dynamite. Now, the drilling didn't take place here unless you were in the gangway crew. Later on, they got to use this thing right here. It's an air drill. Made their job a whole lot easier. My great-grandfather, he got killed in a blasting accident when he worked in the mines. It's in Helfenstein. He was perfecting the electric blasting cap. They didn't have the timings down, and he walked back in there, and that shot went off, and it killed him. He left a wife and 6 children behind. This is what we call a manway, and this is how the miners got their materials up, and this is how they got to their work area every single day. In the morning they'd come in here, there'd be a mine car sitting in the gangway with all their supplies. Their timber, their planks, their drills, steels, dynamite, everything they needed for the day's work. 2 to 3 guys would work together, passing that material from one to the other till they got up to where they were going. Every day it got 6 feet further as they advanced this chute up. So, till they got up there at the 300-foot mark, it took 4, maybe 5 hours to get everything up there, and their job just started. So, in about 1928, they stopped this gangway. It was only still about 8 inches thick, and the coal was all dirt. So they decided to spend enough money here, we're not going no further. These are the original rails from when the mine was in operation. Okay, they are underneath the dirt all the way out to the main haulage way. We just covered them up with the dirt so people wouldn't be tripping on them. This here is what we call a big buck leader vein. It's called the leader vein because all it does is lead miners on, thinking it's going to get thicker. All right, so you can see right here it's not that thick. You can see how quick it'll change. Right there, that's as thick as the vein is, right where my light is, about 2 or 3 inches. So in about 15 or 20 feet, it can go from 2.5 feet down to 2 or 3 inches. Okay, now, I'm 5th generation coal miner. My youngest son actually is 6th generation. He does this every day for a living. And that there, what you see right there, is the thickness of the vein that he works in every day. And even thinner than that. It goes down to 19 inches. Wow. My son is 24 inches across the shoulders, so he can't even fit through. Now, this is the original phone from when the mine was in operation. It's over 100 years old, and it still works.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Very basic phone. You crank it, it rings a bell outside. There's one just like it outside. Anybody know what this guy is?
Rat?
A rat, yep.
Oh, no.
Okay, rats, the miners like to see rats in the mines. Rats have a very sensitive feel for vibration. So if these guys are heading for the opening, you'd better be in front of them or behind them because something bad was about to happen. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is this guy here. Okay, this is a canary. This is what they use to check for gas. Okay, canaries' lungs are really small, so they're very sensitive to air quality. Okay, the miner, the foreman, and the fire boss, they would come in with 2 or 3 of these. And they would come in 2 hours before the shift started, and they would check the whole mine out, every work area. They'd take one of these canaries and they'd hold it up high. They're looking for 2 types of gas. Methane gas, which is up high and highly explosive, and black damp, which is just a lack of oxygen and it's found down low. He'd take this canary and hold it up high and he'd watch it. If the canary got nervous or fidgety, fell off his perch, that meant there was methane gas there. And if it fell off its perch, it probably also meant he needed a new canary. For the black damp, he'd hold it down low and he'd watch the canary again. If he got nervous or fidgety, fell off his perch, that meant there was black damp and he'd have to leave the area. In the later years then, they were going to give these guys a break. They come up with this thing. This is called a safety lamp. It's a specially designed lamp. It's a thick glass tube here. You can see the flame. There's a flame would be right here. Okay, above it, in this section here, is a brass wire mesh or gauze. It's actually 2 layers. It allows a little tiny bit of air in there, and if they hold it up high and they'd watch the flame. If that flame shot up really high, they knew there was methane gas there. For the black damp, he'd take it, he'd put it right down here on the ground, and he'd look at that flame again. Now, if that flame got low or it went out, you better get out of there in a hurry if it went out, because your lights are going to go out next. Our mule's name is Bob. Don't know why they call him that, but that's what I was told. So this is Bob, little guy alongside of him. He's a stable boy, or a mule boy. Okay, stable boy. His job was to take care of the mules, water them, feed them, clean their stalls, and let the foreman know if they needed medical attention. He done that for about 60 cents a day. If a miner was caught abusing a mule, he was immediately fired. He's put on what they referred to back then as a blacklist. Nowadays, it's called do not hire list. He couldn't get a job anywhere in the Anthracite region. Nobody would hire him. Most of the time, the mules spent their entire life underground. Now, keep in mind they were very expensive, so they're treated very well. This is the most important opening in the whole mine. This is our escape way and our second way out. If something happened in the main tunnel that we came in on, this is how we're getting out of here. It's 400 feet of ladder to the surface on about 60 degrees pitch, and right near the surface it gets up to 80 degrees, so it's pretty well straight up and down. It's about a 20-minute climb if you're in good shape, and our foreman makes this climb about every 2 weeks to inspect it. Now, if you want, they do have special tours sometimes. You can climb up to the top if you'd like. It's small groups, maybe 8-10 people. Just remember, you crawl 400 feet up, you gotta crawl 400 feet back down. Or walk down over the mountain from the top. Last year he took a group up there, and the one guy got up there and he said, "How are we getting down?" The foreman said, "How do you think we're getting down?" "The same way we come up." He said, "No, thank you." He said, "Point me in the direction of the bottom of the mountain." He said, "I'm going walking down over." The miners put these chutes in on 30 degrees. Actually, the carpenters did. The miners only mined the coal. They had a crew for laying track, for timber crew, and a carpenter crew for putting these chutes in. The chutes were put in on 30 degrees pitch. It was the optimum pitch for loading coal. So when a vein was more than 30 degrees, they'd fire all this bottom rock out to make it 30 degrees, create that big hole in there, and then they'd put their chute in. This is what it looks like looking from the top down. 300 feet down is another gangway, just like we're standing in, only not in as good a shape. And 300 feet below that is another gangway. So 600 feet down is the bottom of the mine in this section. Out at the end of the mountain, there was 2 levels below the 3rd level. They just didn't get them in this far until the mine shut down. when a miner got hurt or injured or was too old to work up the pitch, he was given a job the boys normally did. And the miners had a saying back then, once a man, twice a boy. Meaning once they started out picking rock or doing the boys' job, they became a man when they went up the pitch. And when they got too old or got hurt, they went back to doing the boys' jobs. Now it's so dark and dusty in here, he couldn't see what he was doing. He only had a carbide light on, which didn't give off nowhere near this light that I have on. So he'd dangle his feet down like that. When the coal started hitting his feet, he would motion the mule driver to pull a car ahead. Now they might have 3 or 4 of these cars hooked together, depending how much coal had to come out of that chute. When all the cars were loaded, the mule's job was to get the cars rolling. These gangways are drove on a downhill pitch to the outside. The mules would get them rolling. They'd unhook the mule on the fly, which means the cars didn't stop rolling. They just unhooked the mule and got him out of the way. There's no brakes on a mine car. This here is their brake. This is called a wheel sprag. This is the tool of a young boy, the famous job called a runner. Okay, his job was to control the speed of these cars. He'd have a pile of these along the gangway in the steeper sections, and when that trip went zipping by, he'd take one of these and he'd shove it in each one of the wheels. All right, now I'm going to show you what the lighting conditions were like when they worked inside. Then I'm going to show you what pure darkness is like. You'll only experience this underground. You'll be able to touch your hand to your nose and not be able to see your hand. That's how dark it's going to get. Lighting conditions. This here is about the amount of light that they worked with.
Wow.
Okay, now if there's 2 or 3 guys that was a little brighter, when their light went out, this here is what they experienced. Okay, this is about as dark as you're going to experience. And that concludes our shift in the Pioneer Tunnel. Would anyone like to sign up for any of them high-dollar jobs that I mentioned?
Well, I hope you enjoyed your time with me here at the Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine Tour. I cannot recommend this tour enough. I want to give a big shout out to our tour guide, Wally. He was so knowledgeable, personable, friendly. He answered all of our questions. He took his time with us. So thank you to Wally for such a great tour. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. And I truly thank you for visiting the channel and watching my videos. And I hope to see you on my next adventure.